We dare to lead. Electric TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen. This is radio like you never heard before. Electric TV radio. The pathfinder for radio. Electric TV radio. We dare to lead. Electric TV radio. Redefining broadcasting. Listen.
Hello, good morning, everybody. And welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegota TV Radio. My name is Daffy Matthews. I'm going to love to come in Elegota One Sports. It's a lovely time to be alive, as I always say, and I'll say it again and again and again and again. Yeah, many conversations are going on. They say when the fans come out to protest, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work well. British richest man has offered £5 billion to buy over Manchester United. It would have made a whole lot of sense, because if you think about it, they bought the club for 850 million. They've spent over £1 billion. So if you sell for £5 billion, it's massive profit. Means that Manchester United is still one of the most profitable business out there in football world. But unfortunately, the Glazers are refusing to sell. Rather, what they've decided to do, some of the family members have seen the protest and the insult and the backlash as something they cannot bear. So they've decided they want to step out. And in stepping out, the Glazers have said, no, we're not selling to any British richest man. We don't want any British richest man in the board. We don't want anybody who's from the UK. But probably the British richest man also have refused to even be a shareholder. He wants ownership, right? Give it to me completely, 100%. But that's not working with the Glazers. So what they've done is they've gone to look for another American business equity group called the Apollo. Okay, Apollo are going to come in and buy. But the British fans are also saying what we want is 50+1, like you have in Germany. But then I remember some years ago, the British people refused the concept of 50+1. So I don't know where this is heading, but interesting times around everybody in football. But that doesn't mean that because of this result might change this weekend. It's going to be Monday Night Football for Manchester United and Liverpool. Who wins? I don't know. I mean, you can make your prediction, lock your predictions in. It'll be nice to get you state your prediction, what you think is going to happen Monday night. But we'll still have Monday morning show to decide that one. But then you can, be the early bets and tell us what you think is going to happen. When I look at Liverpool dropping points, I look at a team that still have the solidity, the quality of the players, the hunger in the players, the team that wants to play. But when I look at Manchester United losing games, I look at a team that has given up on itself even before the game started. Come on, how do you lose to Brentford 4-0 in 35 minutes? Come on, and then you spend the whole rest of the game not even shooting at goal, not even putting a fight, not even trying. Okay, when Arsenal was losing 8-2 to Manchester United, in that game they lost 2 penalties, they had chances. They were creating chances, but they just didn't get it right. And then you could also say, oh, these were kids. And then it was a bad day in the office, But looking at Manchester United, the sad part is that you just accept that, man, this team is not good enough. This team is going to fall down and crumble and die. And that's the part that is really frustrating and annoying, when you look at Manchester United. But hey, who am I? I'm just a bloody sports analyst in the studio talking sports to people on YouTube, Instagram, and on the radio. Well, for those of you who are listening on the radio, who are not streaming live with us on Instagram and YouTube, if you want to drop in your comment, you know what to do. 07025000069. So many things to talk about. I'm going to give you transfer rumors as we go on the show. But let me give you some burning headlines that are bubbling. Meanwhile, the Nigerian clubs that are on the continent, Rivers United, Plateau United, Remo Stars, Aquara United, are all battling very hard to make sure that their grants are acceptable and approved for the Continental Championship. I mean, a lot of people don't think that they will go far on the continent, and I don't blame them, because, come on, look at the Champions League. Rivers United and Plateau United, if they get past the first round, they definitely are going to be playing against giant from Morocco and Tunisia. That's not something that you can take for granted. But then, football can happen, okay? Football can happen, and, on the day, on any given Sunday, anything is possible. It's a movie, any given Sunday, in case you've not seen it. It's one of the best sports movie, one of, okay? So I wouldn't say it's the best all time. I still think that Remember the Titans is a great movie. I mean, sports movies are great replacements. Let's not talk about sports movies now. We'll talk about that later. And it's Thursdays, and how we do it on Thursdays and Fridays is that everything goes. So you can bring in any question, personal questions, outside of sports questions, general questions. Let's get to talk about them. Some we can laugh about, some we can take very, very serious. Some we will push to the audience, to the people out there to put in the advice, chime in here and there, and see how it goes. Well, in basketball, Kevin Durant. Everybody said that Kevin Durant came to a team and he had powers to do everything, but unfortunately, he didn't do as much as he was supposed to do. Now he wants a trade. Problem is, where is he going to go? Some people say he should go to the Lakers. That if he goes to the Lakers, LeBron James might just get ring number 5. How true is that? You think that these Golden State Warriors have exhausted everything they've got? Because anything that's got Steph Curry and Steph Curry's feet, I don't know. I don't think that they are done. That's just me. If you get Steph Curry on your roster, so I'm not going to put Steph Curry in the GOAT conversation right now, but Steph Curry is a guy that you do not underrate. Steph Curry might not be 2012 Lionel Messi, but it's just that guy you do not underrate. Or probably is a Benzema in a Real Madrid team that you should not underrate. So, greatest of all time, my conversation is always Michael Jordan, MJ, Kobe Bryant. LeBron James is there because of other numbers, not just because of the 4 rings, but then other numbers. And then there is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, there is Magic Johnson, there is a whole lot, okay? A whole lot of people. Steph is on the corridor, okay? It's getting close to the door. He's going to push the door very soon. If he gets another ring, he's obviously in the conversation already, but let's keep it cool. And already putting Arsenal in a conversation that I don't want them to put them on. And that conversation is Arsenal is in the title race. It's just too easy. Come on. How can you just put Arsenal, all of a sudden just bring Arsenal out of nowhere? And the reason is people say that Liverpool are not doing as good as they are expected to do, and it doesn't look like it's going to improve anytime soon because the workhorse, Sadio Mane have gone to Munich, and somehow they just might not be able to cross the line in crunch games, in games that are very, very tight. That normally Sadio Mane knows how to win penalties. Sadio Mane knows how to fight, from defense to midfield to attack, and then make the job easy for Mo Salah. Right now, Mo Salah needs to fight and then get the job done, which is something that Sadio Mane used to do. But that's not going to happen again. Remember the exquisite pass from Sadio Mane to Mo Salah against Manchester United last season, okay? So all of those little things are not there. And, greatness is the sum total of all of the little things that we put together. So because those things are not there, everybody's saying Liverpool are out of the title race. And then Chelsea are not ziplining properly. They are not handling the business properly. Bolly is still trying to understand how to bring American style of sports business, which include the infusion of entertainment, celebrities, superstars into the sports, and then getting money through merchandising. But then in Europe, football is about culture. It's about passion. It's different. So there is a root culture shock that is affecting Todd Boehly in the way he wants to do the business. The way you understand business in sports to what business in sport is. I guess that's also what's happening to the Glazers. Well, maybe the Glazers refuse to learn, just choose to be adamant and do what they want to do in their way. I don't know. But I'm just thinking. So now they say Liverpool are not title contenders, like major title contenders. They're there, maybe top 4 contenders. And Chelsea also not title contenders. Tottenham Hotspur are not looking like when push comes to shove. Like we saw this match, the match against Chelsea. Chelsea is not really, if you consider the form of how the season started, you would expect that Spurs will go to Stamford Bridge and win. But they couldn't get a win there. They had to depend on referees and a whole lot of other factors to get a draw out of that game. So now, looking at how Arsenal is playing, everybody's saying, I don't know if you guys believe. I'm struggling to believe that conversation, but that conversation is brewing somewhere beneath the storm already. So I'm asking you guys the question. Is it foolishness to put Arsenal as a title contender? because everybody is now beginning to say the only team that can bring Arsenal down to earth is Manchester City. But I think that there's a lot of teams that can bring them down to earth. I think that Granit Xhaka is still a tad bit too slow. I think that Thomas Partey is still slow. And a team that can get all up in their face will really get to harm them. But the problem with getting all up in Arsenal's face is that you leave yourself exposed at the back. Arsenal, from the left-hand side of Arsenal, you just have to pray for injury. Because sometimes when Arteta is making the substitution, I'm like, one player I've dealt with Zinchenko all day, and now he has to deal with the marauding runs and crosses of Tierney. It's crazy. And then there is the fearless Martinelli. There is Gabriel Jesus, who you can't track. You need a sniper, probably a laser to track him. Yes, I agree to all of that. But there is still the weakness on the right-hand side. Bukayo Saka is not firing on all cylinder. He's running like a car with bad plugs and blocked exhaust. And then, Tomiyasu or Ben White, that area is still not really strong. Before Arsenal gets all the solid players there, Tomiyasu is back to full fitness, and probably the sign Pino to come in and join that side of attack. Maybe that's what we will say. And then other guy also is not really doing the offensive job that we saw him do last season. The combination with Saka and Emily Smith and everybody is not still there. So we're banking on the workaholicness of Gabriel Jesus. But then let's not forget that Thursday football will soon come. And then Arsenal will have blood Thursday and play on Sunday. And then we'll travel to some places that is very far and difficult. And all of those, tiring journeys that will come in. So, do you think it is foolishness to put Arsenal in the title conversation, that they are Manchester City's closest challenger? What do you think about that? Put a comment on the comment section. Another conversation, somebody said, and it's Gary Neville, it's not me. Gary Neville said, Manchester United, at the rate at which they are playing, they might finish in the bottom 10. But I say that Arsenal played like this last season and they ended up in 5th position. Can't Manchester United revive themselves, revive their season, and show up and give a top 4 push? Isn't it possible? So I need you guys to tell me what you think on this. You know how it is, 07025000069. If you're on WhatsApp, that's where you send your message to. You can send your message on Instagram as well and on YouTube. What do you think? Because when I hear this talk, I'm like, what's going on here? For those of you who want me to talk about Ryan Giggs and his girlfriend, this is not the show, please. Asking me that question doesn't work. Yeah, this is what I have to say about Anthony Joshua's fight. I'm saying all of me. I'm going to put my whole investment, my whole chunk of money and bet on Usyk to win. But I understand that everybody say you're Nigerian, you should be backing Anthony Joshua. Then it's no longer what it is. There's no objectivity to that. If you think Joshua is going to win, tell me why you think he's going to win. If you think Usyk is going to win, tell me why you think he's going to win. But for me, I think Usyk is going to win now. Usyk is not just a boxer. Usyk is a tactician. Anthony Joshua is a boxer, but he's not a tactician. Now, let me explain that. Usyk, during his amateur days, he got beaten about 10, 5, I don't know, times. And then he went to the Olympics. He won the Olympic gold in boxing. And he turned pro. Since he turned pro, he hardly ever get beaten. But he said the thing he does is when he won every unified out the belt in the cruiserweight, he came to the heavyweight. 2 things he did. He fought and did not exert himself that much. The fight, if you look at the fight that he had before Chisora or De La White, I don't know. The fight he had, you could tell that he was holding himself back, dragged the fight to point decision so that Anthony Joshua would feel like, oh, this guy was lucky to win this fight. It wasn't lucky. I don't think that he needed to drag that fight so far. He could have knocked out his opponent in the first, second, or third round, but he dragged the fight. One, to prove that his stamina can last the whole distance. That's something that Anthony Joshua struggles with. But at the same time, he didn't want to do what the Bronze Bomber used to do, where the fight just like shakabo, rap, your rocket launcher, you're knocking the opposition out, because it makes the next fighter begin to look for how to make sure you drag you down the line and then you're tired. Because if you're knocking people out early, go and ask Mike Tyson, he'll tell you, when you're knocking people out early, you're not proving yourself that you have stamina to last the distance. So Usyk tricked everybody to think that, oh, he's not a knockout specialist, he's a points guy, and Anthony Joshua fell for the trick. But guess what? He beat Anthony Joshua, beat him hands down. I'm saying that between that time and now, look at every opponent that Joshua has beaten before, apart from the other Ukrainian Klitschko brother that he beat. And if you look at fight, Klitschko brother was already retiring. He was already going off the perch. He was off the cliff already, falling down. Okay, and you can't use that because it was not prime. It was prime Anthony Joshua, but not prime Klitschko. Vitaly also, and so you don't have to like really measure that up. Now, when you come to the current Anthony Joshua and Usyk, look at Andrew Ruiz. When Anthony Joshua beat Andrew Ruiz, he went on a shopping spree. The Mexican has never had seen that kind of money before in his entire life. When he saw that money, he lost it completely. And instead of keeping his shape and training, he blew up, okay, like somebody who won the lottery and lost focus. And it was easy because he didn't even have stamina. Anthony Joshua could have even dragged him around that ring in the second fight without throwing a single punch, and Anthony Joshua would still have won the fight because he was tired even before the fight started. Now, looking at Usyk, Usyk is a different beast. It reminds me of Anthony's Creed in part 2 of Anthony's Creed. After winning the first fight, instead of sitting down and saying, okay, I've won this one, I'm the greatest, he's gone deep into training, high training, hammer on tires, very, very hard work that is put into his training. Plus the fact that there is the war in Ukraine that's making everybody in Ukraine looking for inspiration from every single bright moment of anybody who is a Ukrainian right now. Guys, I'm saying Anthony Joshua, based on all of this analysis and parallels that I've drawn, Anthony Joshua it's going to need a miracle to win that fight. That's my take. But I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. Now, let's talk about a player that had 36 caps for England, played in the World Cup, fantastic player, and everybody say, oh, this guy is the man. He's going to become the next guy. Some people say he's the Ronaldo of England. Some people say, oh, Nigeria made the mistake of not reeling him in. The problem he had with his dad was a bad omen for Nigeria. Dele Ali is 26 years old, but he's going to Besiktas, can't pick a jersey at Spurs, couldn't pick a jersey at Everton. What do you think happened to Dele Ali? What happened to him? I hear that there is not a single person that picked Dele Ali for their FPL team. That's crazy, when you realize that people picked Tawa Woniyi, even Emmanuel Dennis that have not even started the single game, people have picked him already, and all the other players that they are picking, but no single person picked Dele Ali. If you did pick him, let's know. Well, Aubameyang have also come out to transfer gist. I will give you some the full dossier of the transfer rumors later. But Aubameyang have come out to say, I would rather go to Chelsea, play with my former coach Thomas Tuchel, than go to Manchester United, because as far as I'm concerned, that club is no longer a football club, but a bunch of confused people who don't know what they're doing, like giving a car, a Ferrari, to a Keke Napep driver to take you to your destination. That's how Manchester United really is right now. So, I don't know, but Craig Hope on Daily Mail wrote, it's a Premier League clubs have spent more than La Liga, Serie A, and Bundesliga combined this summer and are set to smash their 1.43 billion record. Who needs to break away when we have the most super of all league, the most super league of all? Okay. The Premier League is the super league. There is no need for a super league. Well, if you don't need it, people need it. The Italians need it. Maybe the Germans don't need it as well. Bayern Munich are in their own league, so they might not need it. And then they've got some investment coming in from car manufacturers and all that, so they might not need it. But some other people need it to play catch up with the Premier League. The unfortunate thing is when the Premier League club do all this and then they go meet the Spanish league and the Champions League, crucial point, they get knocked out. Okay, that's the thing. So let's look at all of this a little bit. Chelsea's Christian Pulisic can ignite Manchester United attack. Be Newcastle's main man, or try to find form at star-studded Juve. So, what is the USA captain's best option with the World Cup looming? My question is, how does a player who plays 2 games and go out injured for 6 months reignite anybody's attack? Come on, shut up. Who's writing this? I don't know. So, Alex Ferguson, the neighbor, Nani opens up, leaving next door to Manchester United boss and driving him home after missing a penalty. He's still up against at Fulham and thinks Fergie might not give to this team the hairdryer treatment. Okay, Liverpool are ready to risk losing Abiketa for free next summer rather than sell him now as the contract talks stall, with Red expecting to sign Dortmund and England star Jude Bellingham. I mean, there's a whole lot of fuzz about Jude Bellingham, but guys, do you think Jude Bellingham is really that good? Is he really all that? Is he up to the tilt? I need to know from you guys what you think of Jude Bellingham and all the talk about him. Emma Raducanu in tennis have continued a blistering run as she dropped only 2 sets to repeat what she did to former world number 1 Serena Williams, to another former world number 1 Victoria Azarenka, as she won in a pre-US Open form with a 6-0, 6-2 win over former world number 1 Victoria Azarenka in the Cincinnati Master. Less than 24 hours after the Brits made light work of Serena Williams with the same scoreline. She's coming back, she's changed her team, she's listened to good advice, and it's changed. Okay? Like I said before, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang wants to join Chelsea if he leaves Barcelona. Not like he wants to leave Barcelona, but when push comes to shove and he needs to leave Barcelona, then it has to be Chelsea or nowhere. Because Manchester United are not the team that is even thinking or dreaming of being part of. So I need your take on all of this conversation that we are having. Somebody also predicted that Lukaku will end the season with a winner's medal in Italy and also the top goal scorer. What's your take on that? On the Daily Mail, Erik ten Hag is giving serious consideration to dropping captain Harry Maguire against Liverpool, but players already feel new boss style does not suit their skill set and have their own ideas. Now, this is a problem. Every coach that have come to Manchester United, their style does not suit the skill set of Manchester United players. Please, somebody tell me, what is the skill set that Manchester United players have that other players in this world don't have? From Jose Mourinho to Louis van Gaal to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, everybody that has called David Isoko Mamboye, and every other person that have come into Manchester United, they are one way or the other, their training does not suit the skill set of the players. He's holding Pogba back. He's doing this one. He's stopping. They're putting a leash on what's he called? What's his name? That the Amalasela. What's his name? Rashford. Everybody have a complaint. What is the problem? Let's go to court case a little bit. Not about Ryan Giggs anyway. Manchester City star Benjamin Mendy a predatory look in his eyes before exposing his penis and trying to rape woman 29 on bed at the mansion after he told her, "I'm going to kidnap you on night out." For Mendy, why? First, one of the things that I love about Mendy back in the day was the all or nothing, the Man City all or nothing, how passionate he was even when he was injured and he was shouting, "Come on, Chichi, come on, Chichi." How about this? Wolves confirmed the arrival of midfielders Marcos Nunes for a club record 38 million transfer fee from Sporting Lisbon. The problem is Wolves the Portuguese embassy in England with 23-year-old signing a 5-year deal at the Millionaire. Okay, let's keep it there. Let's leave it there. Nice sets sight on ambitious loan move for Arsenal winger Nicolas Pepe, with League One club looking to earn £72 million from Gunners' nightmare. Please go back to where you're coming from. That's why they sing that reggae song. If your boyfriend, naga, let him go, so let him go. Why Anthony Joshua and Usyk, Mike Tyson biting Evander Holyfield's ear, Muhammad Ali's phantom punch that defeated Sonny Liston, Lennox Lewis' pair of redemption wins, the most iconic heavyweight rematches as Anthony Joshua plots his revenge against Alexander Usyk. But I think that's not all. Remember, when the Bronze Bomber first fight, they drew. Second fight, Fury won. And people said the third fight is a redemption. Well, I said, Fury is not a guy that the Bronze Bomber can bomb. This is a bombable wall. It cannot, because the guy is a big sponge ball. He's a mattress filled with water. No matter how you punch him, he comes back. The Bronze Bomber, don't forget, he slayed him down and the guy stood up. I remember looking at the eyes of the Bronze Bomber saying, how did he get up? At that point, he knew he had given everything he's got. But the Tyson Fury, the Gypsy King, still came up and showed what he's got. So my take on this is, not every rematch ends in a win. This one, it's not going to be a win. It's going to be an easy work for Alexander Usyk. That's what I think. Yes, Anthony Joshua has done some adjustment to his training. He's done some stuff. He's listened eventually, but I think it's a little too late. Okay, Manchester United fans are saying anyone but the Glazers. United fans share their delight at Sir Jim Ratcliffe interest in buying the club. Now, let me tell you something about Jim Ratcliffe. Jim Ratcliffe, 15 years ago, wanted to buy Arsenal. Some time ago, he wanted to buy Chelsea. Some of that time ago, he wanted to buy Newcastle. Some time ago, he wanted to buy Liverpool. Now he wants to buy Manchester United. And I know that in business, it's not about who you like or not. It's about what's going to give you profit. But I think in football, especially when you're from that country, you should invest in a franchise that you know you are part of or you love. I don't think Ratcliffe is a guy from Manchester United, but we'll see. Again, English people don't invest in business that does not bring profit. Okay, so I'm not sure that football is really that much of a profitable business. I've not seen anybody go to football and come out richer than they were before they go in. So I'm looking at this business and I'm saying Ratcliffe is just trying. Ratcliffe reminds me of Bernie Sanders. Okay, every election in America, Bernie Sanders is there. By the end of the day, you know he's never going to win. He's not going to get anything. But that's the thing that keeps him going. That's the thing that keeps him popular. Well, let me go to the messages and see what you guys are bringing in. Let me start from WhatsApp and see WhatsApp everywhere. Everybody's sending a message now. This one, remember to put your name when you send me a message. This one is coming from Ibrahim in Ikorodu. He said, I think Arsenal should not be in the conversation of title contenders. Now, top four, I would say they are there. For Manchester United, I still think things can change. Their biggest problem this early season is Cristiano Ronaldo's conversation not going out. Usyk and Joshua, man, this guy is very detailed and arrange everything, lay everything out to make it easy for me. Usyk and Joshua fight for me is 60-40, 60 to Usyk and 40 to Joshua. I'm still not convinced that Joshua will defeat him. I hope he do so as in Nigeria. Okay. Dele Ali, don't want to push himself to the highest level. Okay. The talent is there, but the player is not pushing himself enough. Mourinho said this in Sports all or nothing to him. Right. I agree with you. Thank you very much, Ibrahim from Ikorodu, for making my job so sweet, smooth, and easy. God bless you. This one is coming from Show for me. Opik Plaza. Good morning, bro. I love what I saw this morning. 100% record, maximum point, 5 goals scored, 2 clean sheet, solid performance from the girls. But the goalkeeper is a bit shaky. Okay, I think the manager needs to work on that part. From that, we are good to go. Well, I was saving that for the end of the show, but now that you let the cat on the bag, let's have a conversation around it. Our girls beat Canada 3-1, and it was sweet for me because I remember our Super Falcons went to play Canada and lost the first game 2-0, played the other game 2-2, and I was looking for a revenge on Canada, and this on the 20 girls, the Falcons gave us the revenge at a better stage that we deserve. 3-1, they won that game, and it's a beautiful one. Well, sometimes when you've already made your qualification, sometimes there is that complacency that can set. So maybe probably that's what happened. But hey, it is what it is. We've got maximum point, 1 all game, and we are going straight forward to the quarterfinals. Let's see how that goes. If we win that one again, it doesn't look like these girls might just be world beaters. But then let's not bring complacency in. Let's not lose focus. Some other teams are still winning. Some other teams are still playing well. So it just might happen. Let's go to this man, one of my favorite human beings on the planet Earth right now. And another Peter, he said, I think it was more of fame that got to his head, knowingly that he started his career early, laden in fame from MK Dons to sports. His talent can't be denied, but I feel he's among those emotional type of players that needs the manager's arm around them. But the problem with his method is it does not challenge the player to give their all. And I think the breaking point for Ali was the time with Jose, and he lacked the mentality to give what Jose needed to rejuvenate his career. Okay, failing at that point was more of a psychological issue than a talent-wise. Thank you very much, Peter. He said Arsenal are not yet there because they still need quality in there. It's only Man City that can stop City this season for the EPL. Thank you very much for your contribution. Let me go to Instagram. A lot of people are piling up the conversation there, and I've just been looking at them streaming up and down without touching on it. So we might as well just go and visit all the stories, that all the greetings that you're putting there, and all the comments that you're putting there as well. So let's start with this one. Chandida 2020, he said thumbs up to the Falconers doing us proud at the Under-20 Women's World Cup. Thank you very much. Extrovert there. He said, we kept vigil for the Falconers. They delivered. Up next is Haaland. Haaland is also a growing nation in the European space. Let's hope that we're able to deal with them. I'm having faith in this team. I believe in them, and I think they will do well. Okay, Extrovert there, when I say I'm an Arsenal fan, it's foolishness. Okay, top 4 is what we should be talking about right now. Nobody should go and put us in the title conversation. I agree with you, bros. I'm also an Arsenal fan, and I think that talking about Arsenal and the title it's evil, it's disrespectful, and it's not good. Okay, and people say, you are not ambitious. Yes, I agree. Leave us in the top 4. Let's come back and play Champions League football first before we even start talking about the league. If there's this opportunity, this is not 2016. Manchester City is a solid squad and a solid side. And I think that Pep Guardiola is trying to do the business early so that he can focus on the Champions League by the time the World Cup is over. I'm not thinking, oh, Arsenal is in that space right now. No. Let's keep that one on the side. Having said that, Ephraim next day said Arsenal will drop in their performances when Europa League commences. Thursday matches are very demanding. I agree with you 100%. I don't know if they will drop in their performance, but it's very, very demanding, and I agree with you. Steve Oko is saying, good morning, Arsenal doesn't have the skill to go match Man City for the title. I think a top 4 achievement will be ideal for me. Me too, I agree with you on that one. I can't even argue. I can't even contest that conversation at all. Okay, Adesulure says, great work, sir. Thank you very much. And Mr. Smiley says, good morning, good morning to you. On YouTube, Akimbola Larry said, good morning, on for a great show today. Thank you very much. Christian Anamiezi said, I am not carried away by the early progress of Arsenal. Okay, putting them as title contender is a joke of the season. Let us not forget that the season is just 2 weeks. Oh, moreover, do we even have the bench? That's a very good question. Thank you very much for raising that. Chike Ayologu says, I think AJ loses Usyk has better footwork and IQ. Thank you very much. Christian Anomeze says, I think Bellingham is a good talent but needs to prove himself in the next 2 seasons at Dortmund, where he has the right environment to flourish before he should move away from Dortmund. He is still in potency. Wow. I guess you want to say potential. I don't know. Anomeze says, for Dele Alli, I think he lost his motivation to play football, and moreover, he was overrated. I think so too. I think, I agree that Dele Alli's got talent, but the way they rate him, when I start saying that he was on the same level with Ronaldo, I felt insulted. Like, man, my ears have been abused. I've been violated. How do you mention Dele Alli, this one that runs like cricket, with a god in the game of football, in Ronaldo? You know, that's the thing that make me not to like Hazard. When people said Hazard is on the same level with Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi, it's like, are you serious? Like, ooh, seriously? You just ripped my mind. How dare you say that? It doesn't even make sense. And people say, I don't like Hazard. No, I like Hazard, but I just hate the way people rated him. So I needed to bring him to his position. Just the same way the people think I don't like Okocha. No, I like Okocha as a human being. But I think that the very minute I start hearing people say, nah, he teach Ronaldo how to play football like that. What's wrong with you people? What's wrong with you people? Talking nonsense. What's wrong with you people? Like, we didn't see Ronaldo play at the Nigeria 99. If not met Okocha at that time. Right? We didn't see him play at the Under-17 in Egypt. What's wrong with you people? Why are you people saying things that you cannot substantiate, you cannot back up? Okay? But hey, that's one of those things that happen in football. And it's just comparison that brings the pressure and the stance on there, like, okay, you have to live up to this expectation and all that. Chooks 9000 said, according to Apes Ferguson, I guess you want to say Alex Ferguson, the bench wins you the league, and that's what Arsenal is lacking in this team. Man City all the way. I agree. The bench actually wins you the league, because it's going to come a time where you will need to depend on the bench, when legs of the starting team is tiring. Yes, we've had a great preseason, and the team has got what they call it carries in momentum. So I always explain momentum like this. With momentum, a Toyota Camry or a Honda would overtake a Ferrari in a 100-meter dash with momentum. And what is that? If the Camry or the Toyota is already running, steaming hot, gear 5, and then he gets to the point where the Ferrari is, and they say Ferrari should run, he might, in some extreme circumstances, at running. But if they gun them down on the same race, or probably put them on a distant race, like you have to run far, the Toyota Camry or Honda would soon realize that it's running on its own, like that one turning on your own. It's running on its own. There is not even a Ferrari in sight. You haven't seen the Ferrari anymore. So that's the way I see this. Man City can rotate, remove one player, put another player, and not feel bad. Any other team that sells Gabriel Jesus, Zinchenko, and all this Raheem Sterling, who's the other guy that they let go? If they try that, they will be praying to God right now. Man City have done that, and they've got 2 games clean sheet, 6 goals scored, and looking like they have not even started. Because when you look at Man City, you still tell yourself there are still some players that are still performing below par. For a team that have players that are still performing below par, Bernardo Silva is not where we used to know him. Even Kevin De Bruyne is not there. We cannot say Haaland, this is the Haaland that we expected. This is not the best of Haaland. Yet, they've not considered a single goal. They've scored 6 already in 2. So, I don't know. Playing against Leicester looks like Arsenal's very best. Yet, they consider 2 goals out of nothing. Leicester didn't even push, didn't try. So, I wish Arsenal would play Manchester United pretty early right now anyway. But again, Manchester United can be struggling, and then they go and play Arsenal, they will still win. That's another part of the conversation. Akim Balalare said Usyk for the win because he is lighter on his feet and quicker with his punch. I agree with you on that one too. Okay, let me go to Instagram and see what somebody's saying here. I say good morning. How have you been, guys? Good morning, the people that rated the likes of Ali Azad with Ronaldo and Messi. They drink Sapele water before they said that insult to talent and quality at the highest order. Thank you very much, my brother, for joining me in that conversation. Well, Diane says, good morning, Dafi. Good morning to you. I'm going to deviate from football a little bit and ask you a personal question since it's Thursday. Thank you very much. Yeah, people always say that YouTube is the hardest social media platform to grow on. Why did you choose YouTube instead of doing skits on Facebook and Instagram and become popular like Mr. Sabinos, Mr. Macaroni, and the rest? Why did you choose YouTube? Wow. How do I answer this question? Okay, so I wasn't building an individual brand. And so if you're doing skits, if you look at the people that are doing skits, it's more of an individual brand. Yes, they have people who do production for them and the rest, the backside, but it was more of an individual brand. Me, I always saw myself like my time on radio was almost at the end. I want to go to movie production. I want to go into storytelling in sports because that's an area, it's a virgin area that nobody is touching. And I wanted to start with YouTube. I'd done the research. I knew that YouTube was like almost undoable, especially when you're from this part of the world. Okay, even those people in US and Europe struggle with YouTube. So I knew it was always going to be a very difficult journey for me. And to mix it up with the fact that there was no money coming from anywhere, and I've got a very, very expensive family, wonderful, amazing kids, and all that, it was going to be tough. But I also thought about the fact that I didn't want to. So I wasn't, when you lose your job because it was a fault of yours, you could lie to everybody, but you would look at yourself and know that, well, I brought this one upon myself, right? I did this. But when you lose your job because your boss, who is over 6 billion against you that earns 150,000, 180,000 a month, and you lose because your boss already feel threatened by you, you've got to try to prove a point. Yeah, people say it doesn't matter. You don't need to prove a point. No, we are all living our lives to prove a point. Let's not deceive ourselves. Yeah. So the truth is, I picked YouTube because YouTube is the reason why I was fired. And why would I get fired because of YouTube? And then I refuse to succeed with YouTube. So that's why I choose to do YouTube. And then secondly, the time I left radio, like terrestrial radio, or I got fired, coincided with the time where this conversation was very, very popular. Who you help? Who remember? Where is the proof? And then sometimes when I'm in conversation with people and I said that I did this prediction, I said, where's your evidence? And I realized that everything I do on that radio There is no recording. There is no evidence to it. So all of those predictions of Germany will win the World Cup, Man United will go 10 years without winning the title, Super Eagles will qualify for the World Cup 2018 on June 2nd, 2016. I made that prediction that the Super Eagles will qualify for the World Cup with 2 games to spare and all that. I don't realize that there's no evidence. I can't even go back to pull it up. But if I keep putting that on YouTube, definitely it's going to be there. Like when I said last season that the start of last season that Frank Lampard was going to be fired in February, I didn't have to prove anything to anybody. He was there. By February, he was fired. So those kind of things made me realize that, you know what? It's not even about me. It's about my children and the generation of the future that will come and stumble on this thing, because none of us here now met Martin Luther King. But we can say a whole lot of things that Martin Luther King said, because there's evidence to go back to it. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children would be judged would not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of the character. It's easy because there's evidence to back that up, okay? So I thought YouTube gives me a platform for an evidential existence. Like, it puts me in the heart and soul of people. And at this time, I didn't even know whether there is monetization and the rest. It took me time to know. And then you know how it is when you start a business, you don't know. You never know. It's like science. It's a guesswork. Like, I'm going to go into this. I'm going to grind and grind and grind until I get a breakthrough. And that's exactly what happened. So Diane, when you look at it from that angle, that's why I choose YouTube. And the reason why I didn't follow the path of skits, I'm not really a comedian. I'm not really funny. And then there are certain things that I will not do. So I also studied the Facebook thing, and I noticed that what Facebook people really gravitate towards is somebody who puts semi-naked people out there. I'm not saying what they're doing is wrong, but I'm just saying that's what works. Okay, Emanuela was a different case, was a very, very unique and special case, and it doesn't always work like that. But what this generation like is somebody who would show you big breasts, big yards, and all that. That's not my person. I will not be able to. I will not be motivated or be inspired to do that on a daily basis, write a script and say, come, no, that's not something I can do because it's not my person. And let's not forget, I grew up with a mother, like let's say for instance, I ever brought Patience Ozokwa's daughter to my mom, that I want to marry her, that marriage will not work. Because she believed that Patience Ozokwa in movie, that's how she is in real life. I am growing up in a country of perception. So the roles you play, we all think that Kanaya is a ritualist, Peter Doce is a ritualist and all that. Chiwe Telayagu, that one is a wicked man, it's evil. So I didn't want to go and do something that would rub off on me. Silent Night was a very long movie. Shego Arizi still gets called Black Arrow to this very day. So I didn't want something that would rub off on me and probably my children in the wrong way. So I was never, ever. I mean, people suggested it, but I just stood up, shut up. I'm known for sports. I'm good at it. This is what I know how to do. I'm all going to create a YouTube content. So when I started creating YouTube content, the opportunity for me to have an online radio showed up, and then I seized it. And this question you're asking, a lot of people have asked the question as well. But obviously, I'm only going to do what I'm good at. And then there are also a lot of inspiration. I look at the Breakfast Club, okay? Salaman the God, Anjanayi, and DJ Envy. It's 15 years now running. It's the most listened to podcast on YouTube in the whole world. I look at First Take, ESPN. Stephen A. Smith is the highest grossing in the world. And then I look at the AFTV, we used formerly known as Arsenal Fan TV, and then Arsenal, sued them to stop using their name, and then they changed it to AFTV. And I see what Robbie Al has done, and all of a sudden, what looked like a failed project is now one of the biggest projects in the world. So there is encouragement across the aisle. My job is not to run over there, but my job is to do it here, because if it is working there, probably there is some effort, some drive that they are putting in, and I'm taking all the training that I can take, all the training online. You can't force it. This is not, hey, go and get some hackers to give you the numbers. No, subscribers will come, views will come, but it's going to take time. You're just going to keep creating content like Toyota and Honda, and then eventually you hope that the market will catch. I mean, when Innocent Motor started, nobody was buying, but the man was selling his plastic and the rest. I was doing his cars. Now people are buying across different African countries. So it's one of those things that you just tell yourself, yes, it's hard, it's the rough road, funding is not coming, but you're going to keep doing it. And that's why I do it. I hope that answers your question very, very well. Akimbola Larry say you seek for the win because, okay, I think I've read that one. Son of a King, he said, Now, so, hey, how is Dubai, bro? How you doing? So let's jump into the transfer rumors that I promised you I was going to give to you guys. Yeah. Yes. Plenty of gossip. Manchester United are interested in signing American forward Christian Pulisic, who's 28, from Chelsea on a season-long loan. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Since Chile was 2015, right? Chile, when we won the Under 17 World Cup was 2015. Since Chile 2015 up until this day, have Pulisic given anybody from Dortmund to Chelsea? Have they given anybody one full season of glorious performance? I don't know. If you know, remind me. Like, is he giving any team that one full season of excellent performance, or probably just average but sustained performance? It's not done that. So when you mention Pulisic in a transfer conversation alongside Manchester United for a team that is dying, that needs life support, that need oxygen and resuscitation and all the medications that they need, and then you're going to bring somebody that is an accident victim. I don't know, but hey, tell me how Pulisic will add value to Manchester United. I think that Manchester United have enough young players. What of that Ishak Zidane that he had in preseason? If he played that well in preseason, and you have this bunch of players that are not playing well, why not give him a run right now? Right? Why not give him a run right now to see what he can do? People always say that the pressure is too much. What is the pressure that is too much? I'm not a fan of Arsene Wenger, but I do respect his boldness to give players like Flamini, Denise, Alexander Song, Serge Fabregas, and all those young players, Seminasri, Gaklichi, Kolotori, all those players, the opportunity that he gave them that made them to become the players that they eventually became. So I think that Ishak Zidane should be given a chance to play the football that he can play, especially in a team like Manchester United that is dying. This is the best time, okay? This is the best time to buy stock is when the stocks are crashing. Manchester United are crashing. This is the best time to play all these young players. At least they'll have much time experience, and then it just could be the spring that gives them a little bit of break. But hey, I don't know. Saviki on Instagram said Pulisic is a lukewarm player, not reliable. And Manchester United have had a £110 million bid rejected by Atletico Madrid for Portugal forward Joao Felix. How the hell is Atletico Madrid rejecting that money? And wait a minute, how is Joao Felix so expensive? Is he really that good? They bought him for 105. Now somebody wants to buy him for 110, and I don't think that Joao Felix will ever pay back the money that he used to buy him. If you offer me £110 million, the very minute you say it, I'll take the money and cut your hand alongside it, because Joao Felix is not that good. It's a nanny pretending to be Cristiano Ronaldo. That's my take. Okay? But hey, it should prove me wrong. Forward Antony is no longer an option for Manchester United, with the 22-year-old Brazil international suggesting he's happy at Ajax despite being linked with the Premier League club throughout the transfer window. Now, wow, the guy has seen that Manchester United is not worth giving it a try, so there's no need going there. United have targeted Everton Bosnian goalkeeper Asmir Begovic, and I was in the keep 35 as a potential backup to Spain international David de Gea following the departure of Dean Henderson to Nottingham Forest. Okay, Everton are considering signing Chile forward Ben Brereton Diaz from Blackburn Rovers, with the 23-year-old being considered as a replacement for injured England forward Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Okay, he was 25 years of age. French club Nice had made an 8.2 million offer for Brereton Diaz earlier this week, which Blackburn have yet to accept or reject, with West Ham also showing interest in the Chilean. Leicester City's Wesley Fofana believe the Foxes are pricing him out of the move, with the club said to be asking for a record fee of more than 80 million they receive for Manchester United England defender and captain Harry Maguire, 29, for the 21-year-old. Okay. Let's say the player obviously knows he's not worth that amount of money, so he's in line with what I've always said, that 50 million is the highest that I'll pay. On Instagram, if I continue, I say, bros, why is United looking for Pulisic when they have Alejandro Garnacho? True as they are confused. I'm really wondering. Man United will see where they have a problem. They will not try to fix that problem. They will jump and go and try to fix another problem that is not even a thing that is not a problem. The way they bought Alexis Sanchez, a player they don't need. There was no vacancy in that position. They went and got Alexis Sanchez, put him on £500,000 a week. That was crazy for me. I don't know why, but it was a crazy move, and I thought, this is stupid. Okay, they just did it to weaken Arsenal, right? No problem, but it was stupid on their part. Same thing, Cristiano Ronaldo, rumor just showed up. He's going to Man City. They went in, come over. They don't need him. They were scoring goals like goals were going out of fashion. The team was playing well, it was beginning to gel, everything was going well. But then they brought him. We saw how they go from second to sixth position on the league table. Manchester United, Nottingham Forest have agreed personal terms with Lyon's Osam Oa, but are yet to come to an agreement for a fee for the 24-year-old French midfielder who had previously attracted attention from Arsenal. Okay, Arsenal's not buying anymore. Manchester United are willing to pay. Manchester United are willing to pay some outrageous money, 67 million for Real Madrid's 30-year-old midfielder Casemiro, and double the Brazilian wages to £360,000 a week after talks with Juventus France midfielder Adriano 27 broke down. And this guy's crazy. Like, what is happening at Manchester United? Some people are smoking pipe, terrible pipe, exhaust pipe maybe. But the bill for Casemiro is now said to be looking unlikely for United, with the player said to not be interested in a move, and Chelsea also expressing interest. Oh my God. Manchester United is officially the most rejected club. United are also considering signing Belgian right back Thomas Meunier, 30. And these are old players. So there's not really a future. From Borussia Dortmund, if they sell English fullback Wan-Bissaka, 24, back to Crystal Palace for £10 million. The Red Devils are lining up a bid for Borussia Mönchengladbach, Switzerland international goalkeeper Jan Sommer, 33, to challenge number 1 David de Gea. Jan Sommer will challenge David de Gea. You are really, really serious. You guys are sick somewhere. Fulham, Willian could make a return to the Premier League, as reports suggest he is set to open talks with Fulham. The 34-year-old Brazil winger recently left Corinthians and could be signed on a free. Okay, that's a good one. At least it's free. Nobody's spending money. Sporting Lisbon has expressed interest in signing Portugal striker Cristiano Ronaldo. The 37-year-old has repeatedly told Manchester United he wants to leave. Former Arsenal forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang would rather leave Barcelona for Chelsea than Manchester United, according to reports, which also suggest that Barcelona value him at £25 million per player they got for free. A figure Chelsea are reluctant to pay for the 33-year-old. Manchester United will be willing to pay £60 million for that one. The way these things are going. Tottenham wants to sign Ukraine midfielder Russian Malinovsky from Atalanta. The 29-year-old would be Spurs' 8th signing in the summer transfer window. A Spurs that could not sign one player in 2 windows for Mauricio Pochettino is signing this much number of players. Antonio Conte must have a voodoo or a juju somewhere. I don't know, but it does have something that is using on Daniel Levy. That man whose hand is aka-gone, tight-fisted. Yeah. Okay, well, let's not say anything. Tottenham was, I think I'm talking now. Southampton and Newcastle both want to sign Benfica striker Gonçalo Ramos 21. But there is a difference between the fees that they are trying to agree on. Liverpool and Guinea midfielder Naby Keita 27 could be prepared to make a move away from with former club RB Leipzig showing interest. Now, there's something I'm looking at Liverpool that going forward, it does look to me, I'm just saying this, no research to back it up, but it does look to me that Liverpool's structure of paying small salary is about to crumble. And once that crumble, a lot of players will not want to come sign for Liverpool anymore. And all of this whole talk of Genge pressing might just go out of the window. Because it seems like the club is running Liverpool with the Dortmund mentality. But the chicken is coming home to roost now. All of that. That's the reason why Sadio Mane left. And they hurriedly now gave Mo Salah the £400,000. I thought that they should have done a deal to give Sadio Mane and Mo Salah 300, okay, or 250 each, and they would have stayed. But as it is right now, and if you think that Jesse Lingard earns more money than Trent Alexander-Arnold and a lot of the players that are playing for Liverpool, then you would understand what this really means. And some of these players are looking at their mates and saying, come on, if this guy can earn this for doing absolutely nothing, not being ambitious, not winning titles, why am I heading this year where I could go to somewhere else and earn very big? Wijnaldum's journey to Paris Saint-Germain may not have been good, but he packed a lot of money in one season that he would have collected in Liverpool for 4 seasons. So think about all of that. Don't forget that money is still the name of the game, because when you look at players when they retire, nobody comes to rescue them. Okay, they are all by themselves. All these players that we hail and sing their praises, it's because they're in the spotlight. Once they get off the spotlight, once they push out of the conveyor belt, the fans sing glory, hallelujah for the next guy who show up on the stage. I mean, nobody, I'm not sure anybody's ever mentioned Roberto Baggio or Romario again in a very long time. Those guys were the superheroes of our generation. They were the Cristiano Ronaldo and the Messi of our generation. So they've gone on the conveyor belt. We've moved on very, very fast to some other people, right? That's the way it is. So gather as much money as you can gather. And I wouldn't blame Naby Keita if he decides to move, because somehow Liverpool, these players have worked their ass off for them. And I'm also thinking that there's a theory in my head called the theory of exhaustion. But I don't have enough research paperwork to prove it. But I think that in one season, Jurgen Klopp makes his players to play like 2.5 seasons, and now they are all burnt out, and it's affecting them, because football is a game of margin. Half an inch is too long is oversized. Half an inch is too short is undersized, and those moments of margin is what define a football match. And I think that right now, Liverpool have players that have been burnt out, and they just can't run as they used to run. And to be able to play the Liverpool style, you just have to run at that level. So they are like a Ferrari that have hit the mileage that it was created for. So even though you are accelerating and trying to put nitro into it, the car is not ziplining. It's not running past other cars that you expect them to be. Have you ever driven a car that you drove for very long? You could drive it from Lagos to Abuja, and then all of a sudden you now realize that to even drive it from Lagos to Abeokuta or to Ibadan becomes like, very, very cumbersome and tiring. The legs are shaking, the car is wobbling, the AC is not blowing the way it's supposed to blow. You're beginning to feel like something is missing. That's what I think is happening with the Liverpool players. But I don't have data to back it, because somebody would always jump up and say, but they refresh the players, they bring in Diego Jota, they brought in Diaz, and then they brought in Darwin Núñez and the rest of them. But don't forget the core of the team is still the old players that have been used. But I'm going to work on it. I'm going to research on it and come out with my own finding and my position. I want to be convinced before I put out a position, but you know how it is. Every position I put out, people attack it until it's proven. So I want to do my research, and then when I'm coming here, I'm speaking with authority. Having said that, whatever Peters went on to say, this Manchester United player will turn on the coach, and which they are already doing by complaining about his method. This is already the perfect opportunity to play the young ones, to sit everyone up. If you are good enough, you get a starting shirt. I agree with you. No manager has had this opportunity to make this time like Erik ten Hag has now. Pulisic will be out more days with injuries than appearance on the match day squad. I agree with you as well. Let me take this one from Matthew from Ikotu as we approach the very final lap of the show. He said, good morning, Mr. Elebota, good morning to you. Manchester United has lost its course. The rate at which they are going for old players is alarming. They're almost beginning to sound like they are Juventus. And don't forget, on the transfer trail, I told you the story that Liverpool and Guinea midfielder Naby Keita 27 could be prepared to make a move away with former club RB Leipzig showing interest, according to Sky Sports Germany. But it is understood that Liverpool have no intention of letting Keita go before the end of this transfer window, and hope to get him to sign a new contract, although they may risk letting him go on a free next summer. West Ham have dropped their interest in Chelsea 28-year-old left back Emerson Emerson Palmieri, because of the Brazilians' high wage demand. Hey, you can't go to Chelsea, I want to buy a Chelsea player with your West Ham budget. Let's be very honest. These guys earn big, and Brazilians are like Africa. They are like Africans. They have plenty of family members to take care of. So when they're signing their contract, they're thinking, my mommy, my dad, my uncle, my sister, my boyfriend, the wedding that is coming, my sister's birthday. So when people say Neymar is over demanding, no, it's not over demanding. Neymar have an entire nation to take care of. And so when he's signing this contract, he's thinking of that entire nation. European players have just themselves. Okay? European players don't even give their parents money. You can't do that if you're African or if you're South American. Because once you make it, it is the entire community that made it. Ask any African footballer that have played football. I can see my brother here, Samsoji there. All of us still ask Samsoji for money, even though he has retired for like God knows how long. But Samson, people still asking for money like he's still playing Premier League football today. If Samson, you could drop a comment and confirm this thing that I'm saying. So it's not easy that you sign a contract and people expect you take the small money. No, you're not going to take small money. You're going to ask for as much as you want. And if you are West Ham, you're going for a Brazilian player that already plays for Chelsea. You know that this guy knows the going rate for other Brazilian players in his community that have come to Europe. And then when he goes back, he's not going to be taking care of 5 people when the other Brazilians that come in are taking care of 250 people, 150 people, 200, 300 people. You're going to be able to live up to that as well. That's how they grow their community. Unfortunately, if you're not ready for that, then don't sign a Brazilian player. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that's the way it works. Having said that, we've come to the end of the show. It's 9:59 a.m. this morning on a lovely Thursday morning. I've had fun. I don't know about you guys, but I've really, really had fun. Let me round up with final comments on YouTube. Okay, and Abaya Misha to say, how would you rate Anthony Joshua among the great heavyweight fighters like Mike Tyson, Klitschko brothers, Muhammad Ali? It's not that rated. It's not that school. It's not that class. It's just a lucky heavyweight fighter who happens to come at a time where he was also able to dodge 2 great fighters that would have beaten him blue, black, and red in the Deontay Wilder. I don't think Anthony Joshua would have ever beaten Deontay Wilder. I also don't think that Anthony Joshua would have lasted 3 rounds with Tyson Fury. He managed. He's got it. Say Anthony Joshua. What Anthony Joshua's got is he's got the best management anybody could ever have, and that is a very, very good one. And he was benefiting from the fame and fans of 2 continents and 2 countries, England and Nigeria, and all this one. Anthony Joshua was more of a hip hop artist than a real boxer. So let's not mention his name among these greats at all. He doesn't belong in that class. He didn't go to school. They didn't register him in that school. It doesn't belong there. Not everybody have Harvard certificate or Harvard degree. So let's not mention him in this class. It's not even in the second class of the Leonard Lewis, Evander Holyfield, and the rest of it. It's not there. Please, let's not have that conversation at all. As far as I'm concerned, is a third or 4th rate heavyweight boxer. People might not like me for saying this, but I really don't care. Anthony Joshua is not there. He doesn't pack a punch. I can recall a fight. If Anthony Joshua retires today, nobody will remember a fight where Anthony Joshua throw one kind of punch that destroyed somebody's face or that slugged and we see eye cutting and the rest. Nobody. I still remember Leonard Lewis giving Hashim Rahman that punch in the return. I still remember Leonard Lewis torturing Mike Tyson. And I remember a plethora of Mike Tyson's fight, knocking people 24 seconds into the first round, and a big man is down crying. I've seen Mike Tyson beat people, and I'm wondering, is this a boxing fight? I saw Evander Holyfield. I saw Spinks. I saw clips of Muhammad Ali. Whoa. No. I want to realize that nobody goes back to watch a Muhammad Ali fight. Like after the fight, you go back and you want to analyze the fight, his move, his punch. No, there's nobody who would liken his fight, his fighting style to Anthony Joshua's fight. So it's not in the great. He's a good fighter, came in at a time when the window was just open for him to benefit. Fine. But in that class, never. Abiodun Oluwadamilare said, I learned that Joao Felix has a release clause of 300 million euros. Yes, that's true. That was why the bid was rejected. Yeah, but nobody's going to activate it. I thought that when the thing is Atletico Madrid have already built a new stadium, they don't look like they're desperately in need of money. But I'm saying that Joao Felix will not provide you that value that they think. It's not a Neymar. It's not a Suarez. It's not a Messi. It's not a Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's face it. It's not even a Benzema. So all of that talk of 300 million pounds buyout clause, hogwash, rubbish. Christian Pulisic says, it's very crazy what is going on at United. Something is totally wrong with their scouting and transfer team. They are pricing every football player on earth right now and cannot just get one. Oh my show. As far as I'm concerned, I think Manchester United should come and sign me. My right leg and my crippled left leg is still way better than a lot of the players that are playing there. I just need 6 months to train and work very well, eat well, and then maybe I play 2 games, I faint, and then I come back and be doing my show again. What do you guys think? Well, that's how I signed up on the show today. Thank you very much for being with me from start to finish. 3 minutes over the finish line already. It's 10:03. My name is David Matthew. You love to come in and look at the spot. It's been wonderful doing it with you today. Let's do it again tomorrow across all platforms. But don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget to read on our website, www.elegotetv.com. It's a fantastic website where we have stories, articles, analysis, report that would make your day. I've had fun. I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, I'm sorry. Try to have fun every time you're with me. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.